Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 for a brand new Man City transfer video. Today we are once again talking about the most talked about striker in world football right now, and that of course is Erling Haaland, who has got some updates now as to where his future may lie. He's linked with a number of clubs this time, but this time we come with a bit more of a positive feeling. Joe, didn't we say over the months now, as long as we've been covering Erling Haaland, that there would be ups, there would be downs, there would be news reports that would make us feel optimistic, there would be news reports that make us feel negative, and we've had plenty of negativity, that Real Madrid fancy themselves to sign Mbappe and Haaland, and then Real Madrid all of a sudden are no longer interested or feel they can't do it. Well, today, as of Cadena SE, or as always, you guys, the viewers at home, can tell us what you think about the sources. They are saying that Man City are the favourites to sign Erling Haaland. This is the first time in the whole Erling Haaland saga that we have actually been told officially, or that most people are saying that City are actually in the full-on lead. Up to now, we've been told that we're competing heavily with Real Madrid. Madrid were ahead of us allegedly in the race, but if he was to come to England, it would be to Man City. Now we're being told that City are actually leading the race, which is very good news. They're all saying Real Madrid believe Erling Haaland will join Man City this summer. This is probably to do with the finance situation, because they're clearly hell-bent on getting Kylian Mbappe, aren't they? And then we have another piece here saying Haaland has 5 offers in total on the table. City, PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Bayern Munich, who I think it's the first time I've seen them actually linked with Erling Haaland properly, even though people have suggested it wouldn't be the worst place for him to go to become Lewandowski's successor and whatnot. But they're in the mix now. He has also a renewal offer from Borussia Dortmund that he is not considering. That doesn't come as an overall surprise to me that he is not considering renewing at Dortmund, because I think a player of his quality, yes, you may say at his age, what is he, 21, that kind of age bracket, should stay at Dortmund and keep developing the way Sancho and Bellingham and these kind of players are in the process or have done. But he is at the point now, Haaland, where he is so sought after, he is definitely ready to start competing for trophies in the regular. We're apparently the favourites, Joe. How do you feel about this one now? I think it's pretty exciting, but like I said a few minutes ago, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves because it is a roller coaster.
It's going to continue to be a roller coaster as well. I imagine in the coming weeks we'll get even more news that might be negative, might be even more positive. But again, like you said, this is the first sort of big City are favourites, like outright favourites. Of course, a few weeks ago we had the whole Sky Sports thing saying that if it was to come to England, we would be the favourites, but we weren't overall favourites. It was still, Madrid, very centred around them, and obviously the Spanish media were all over it saying, "Oh, Madrid can't finance it, so Barcelona are going to sign him instead." So it's encouraging to know that at least by one report we're considered to be favourites. It's something that you can cling on to. Again, I'm waiting to believe any of it. I think the Dortmund CEO came out today at the time of recording and said stuff like it'd be sorted within 6 weeks or something like that. So it's coming to an end slowly but surely. I know he's injured at the moment, so it's probably stalled a little bit. But again, 5 clubs, I would have thought there would have been much more than only 5 clubs interested. I'm surprised that it's only 5. I would have thought that every big club in Europe, even if they thought they couldn't afford him, would have at least tried their hand at trying to get him, because it's such a big transfer. But look, positive news is positive news, and it's going to end one way or another with us, we're going to get him or he's going to go to Madrid. That is my gut feeling. I don't see him going to Bayern. Just have never seen that. I think he's more of a loyal guy. I don't think he'd rather go to Bayern after being at Dortmund. So I do think for me it's still the 2 on the table. Unless something else comes out that makes me change my mind, I still think it's Madrid or City.
I think Bayern Munich I don't think they're actually in the race. I don't think he'll go there. Whether they throw their hat in the mix and try to get him, fair enough, they probably will, because they'd be silly not to. I don't think he'll go there. I think he wants to get out of the Bundesliga. I think Barcelona, he won't go there because they're too far away from where he needs to be. He may as well stay at Dortmund if he's considering going to Barcelona. Yes, they're a big club, and they will eventually get back to the top of European football at some stage, because that's what big clubs do. But as of right now, with players like Adama Traore and Aubameyang, that's not going to be very inspiring for Erling Haaland to want to sign. PSG, of course, they will be in the mix, but whether Haaland really wants to go to Paris and play in the French league, I don't know. Once again, he may as well then go to Bayern Munich and play in another similar standard league. I think, like you said, it's still very much between ourselves and Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid are keeping their cards very close to their chest as well, if you ask me personally. I think I've seen whispers that they're suggesting they would be open to relieving themselves of the wages of Eden Hazard, who's clearly on a massive wage there as well. I think they're looking to unload Gareth Bale at some stage as well. You would think if they can pull off the sales, or at least relieving themselves of both those players, that would put them in a much better position to actually afford both Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. But if they can't do so, it seems that they are, like I said, hell-bent on getting Kylian Mbappe. I don't see them being able to finance both, as well as having Hazard, Bale, and I think we spoke about it earlier on off camera that trying to offer Marcelo as well a new contract. He'll be expensive. I think, if you're asking me for my honest opinion at this stage of this saga, which, like Joe said, I think is going to come to a close in the next 6 weeks, it seems that Dortmund are at a lot of unrest, and they're very unhappy with Haaland, if you ask me, and Raiola and the ongoings there. Clearly, Dortmund want some conclusion. They want some clarity as to where Erling Haaland is going to be next season so they can plan as a club. But Haaland, I don't know if he's stalling or he's waiting for the right time to make his public move as to what he wants to do, but it's frustrating the life of the Dortmund. I think they're written off. He's not staying there, if you ask me, so I'll cancel them out. But I'm as optimistic as I ever have been. I think, personally, the feeling I have around it, but just my hunch, not based off anything, is that we will actually get him. Everything we've heard about City in this race to sign Erling Haaland sounds like City mean business. It sounds like we're ruthless. We're willing to offer way bigger cash than we ever have done before. I saw another tweet the other day from someone else saying that City have held a meeting with Mino Raiola to try and secure a Haaland deal. I've never seen City this intent on signing a player of this caliber. We've seen City go all in for players in the past that weren't superstars. They turned out to be great players, but they weren't superstars like Erling Haaland. It seems to me City are absolutely adamant to get this over the line, and I have full confidence that we can. It's refreshing to see us go for players like this, Joe, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes a change, because we used to sign in good players who can become world-class players. Some world-class players, obviously, we've never really spent the higher amounts of money, and while this one still wouldn't break our transfer record, it's probably like the most high-profile signing the club has made in terms of the point of signing them. Obviously, you've had your Agueros, but in terms of when we signed him, he wasn't as high-profile as, how he turned out to be. In terms of Haaland, there is not many players who are bigger than him in world football right now. So it's good to see that we're actually chasing players. We know from previous experiences that City do not like bidding wars. They usually shy away from them and try and get other players just because it's much easier to do so. They don't want to wreck their wage budget and spend over the odds just because of the players. Other clubs want this player. But again, it's great to see that they're actually willing to go toe-to-toe with some of the biggest clubs in Europe to try and get a player that they think is the missing piece for them.
He absolutely is the missing piece, and we've also seen things suggesting that Alfie Haaland is very adamant to get Erling to Man City. He's a big fan of Pep's project. He's a big fan of City, obviously being a past player. He's got a bit of love for the club. I think Haaland himself, if you ask him and you ask him where he thinks is the best place for himself, I think he would say Man City. Like we spoke about so many times in regards to Erling Haaland, there's an open slot there for a striker to come in, first of all, and take the reins and make himself City's number 9 in a team that creates chance after chance after chance. So bring any striker in, they'll do a pretty good job. I've said this before. Bring an average striker in, he's going to score 20, 25 goals a season, if you ask me, or between 15 and 25 goals a season. Bring someone of Erling Haaland's caliber in. This guy could bang 40 goals a season for us with the amount of chances we create. And I think he has to realise that. Raiola, Alfie and Erling have to realise that. And I think they do, which is why the reports are starting to come out now that City are actually in the lead. I mean, we've had this conversation before, Joe, about does Haaland want to go to Real Madrid and be one of a huge amount of stars there, compete with Benzema, who, yes, he's not in the age bracket of your typical prime footballer, but he's not showing any sign of slowing down, is he? Does he want to go there and wait for Benzema to actually retire before he owns the number 9 position, owns it? No, he could come to us challenging for the Premier League every season, challenging for Champions League every season, and be our guy in what right now is the greatest league in the world. I think it makes sense that we're favourites. I think unless Real Madrid can pull off a complete madness and, relieve themselves of those players I spoke about and free up wage space, I think he is ours to sign. The word is that City, we've seen recently in the past couple months, City are willing to offer something like 50 million a year, which would absolutely blow our wage structure out of proportion than it ever has been before. But it seems like City are fine with that because they realise if they can get this guy on a 5-6 year deal, that's 5-6 years of consistent goals, consistent goals, and it will probably lead me to suggest that Pep Guardiola will stay as well. That's another conversation for another video again. But I'm very confident in this. I want you guys at home to leave your thoughts down below. Like I said, I genuinely think right now, unless something major happens, there's a major change in City's thought process in this saga, or Real Madrid, like I said, can pull off a big change. They don't seem too confident as of right now, but I still do think Florentino Perez is keeping his cards close to his chest. I think he's our player to sign. I genuinely believe that, and I hope that is the case. And I'm going to estimate that we will know much clearer come late March, early April, which I think we've said before as well. So do hold tight for that. Do sit there for that. Leave all your thoughts down below. Please leave a like in the video. The support's been absolutely fantastic. We're on the road to 2,000 subs right now. Absolutely amazing. That will be to 2,000 subs. So join the community, subscribe if you're new, like the video, and leave all your thoughts down below on this news. City are favourites to sign Haaland for the first time in this whole saga. We'll see you very soon with more updates. Good night and God bless.